Hey guys, hanging out with my friend Daniel Irmler.
Hey there.
Daniel, what is your title at Tively?
I am the VP of product and engineering. So I get to oversee all of the product people. Those are a lot of people confuse those with like project managers. They're actually the people who go and make sure what we're building is really going to serve our church as well. So they kind of oversee what gets built next. So that's our product team. There's designers there. There's ops people. And then on the other side, there's also the engineering team. So I get to oversee that group of people. And every day they get to come into work and just build really great software for churches.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So, what have you guys seen at Tively lately? We're here at the Modern Church Leader Conference, your first one. It's going great, man. You guys
Oh,
have
thank you.
great attendance, great workshops, great speakers, just out of the gate, just coming in strong. So, way to go. Tell us a little bit about what you guys want to try to accomplish with this conference here.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, encourage churches, right? Post-COVID, I think people were isolated a little bit more. I mean, you and I used to attend the conferences and those were exciting times to get together and get to kind of rub shoulders with other peers, build ideas, and really since COVID, those have kind of they dropped out of church budgets, right?
Mhm.
And so we like to zig when other people are zagging. I know a lot of people are like, "Hey, let's just go digital." We did that in 2020, and we were sitting around about a year ago saying, "Man, could we launch a conference?" um, that would really, encourage churches, but also educate them on the tools. Now we spent hundreds of thousands of hours, millions of dollars building a premier church giving and easy to use church management system for churches. Um, and what we're hearing from our customers, like, how do we use this really well? And so we thought, man, can we put on a conference that, right, we can bring in great speakers, we can bring in great vendors. Maybe I appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Um, and at the same time, educate them on our software. So we've had over 40 workshops where we try to just, you know, sit down with them and be really practical. What's exciting part of Tidely's DNA is we aren't a bunch of business people who got excited about starting a business in church space. We're all kind of church people.
Yeah.
I know you know Justin, myself. My background is I revitalized a church in Fresno, California for about 15 years. Went to a small Bible college, and God kind of put me into software. And so we really wanted this to have a little bit different. I think people are kind of surprised at the conference because you think you're sitting down to a session, you might just get a sermon. So, and this is a little bit of the flavor here, and I'm actually really proud of that. So we're kind of mixing technology with the timeless truths of the Word of God, and hopefully encouraging people in the process, and also educating them on the software that we've built for them.
Good. So you guys are really growing and moving and shaking, and you're moving into this new era, Tithely 3.0, right? So tell me what that is.
Oh, that's great. So, Tylee's a right. We've been serving churches for over a decade. And one of the most interesting things about software is, right, it has to scale. And right, there's a point where we work with hundreds of churches, then thousands, and then tens of thousands. And through that, we knew, okay, we needed to make sure our software was upgraded, working well. And we made a big shift about 3 years ago, and we moved into our Tiley 2.0 space, which is that new UI. But then about 4 years back, we got to partner with Breeze, a church management system we were in love with because most people don't realize this, but we intentionally made Tidely to be very simple and easy to use. Like we don't want people to have a hassle just to get their online giving rolling. And so we always looked over at Breeze because they have that same spirit. How do we make really powerful software really simple? And so 4 years ago, we were able to join forces, and it was just a fantastic partnership. And what we realized, though, is nobody wanted to use two pieces of software. We tried to make some integration so it worked well together. And about 2 years ago, we really bit the bullet and said, let's start laying all the groundwork, all that wiring. Like when a new house comes in, right, they got to pull in the electric line, they got to pull in the internet, they got to pull in the sewage, all that stuff. We've been doing the same for about 2 years, just to make sure these two systems can talk to each other. These are massive systems. And so Tidely 3.0 is us combining Tidely and Breeze together. And so what we want is a seamless experience, a seamless environment. We want to delight the people who use it, all for the purpose of saving them time and making their job just a bit easier.
So it's all going to sit under the Tithely banner.
Mhm.
So Breeze is merging into a piece of Tithely,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Right. Okay. All right. Great. So
And
Tell
what we're gonna do there, just to make sure something, because we're gonna be, oh man, my breeze is going away. What we're really doing is pulling with the best of Tithely, what Tithely does really well, which is online giving, and the best of breeze, which is contact, events, volunteers. So what we're really getting to do is pick and choose what does what the best, and then we're bringing those together. And really, it's not consolidating into a Tithely platform. It's actually creating a whole new platform. And
okay.
so it's a pretty again, the team that's been at work on this is unbelievable what they've been able to do.
Tell me about some of the suite of or the suite of apps that you guys. So obviously, it started with online giving, and then you have kids check in and media and church management and things like that. So tell me about some of those
Yeah.
apps.
I think there's kind of three linchpin pieces of software. And again, we have a lot of software. There's three, if I could just kind of point out, obviously the online giving. Now we do a lot of things that um a lot of online givers don't do, or they add. And we're going to keep doing this as kind of our trend of taking what other people charge for, and what we want to do is just put it into the software for free. And so our right now, our giving software, we have the online giving form, but we also have a native giving app. This thing is unbelievable. And what we're finding is people who will log in and use the app are more consistent in their giving. So one of the ways we can equip churches, and not by just giving them a giving form, which is awesome, but also giving them a giving app. And so along with this, we want the ability for churches to be able to track cash and check. Because if you're only getting half the picture for your church, that's not helpful. And so we have a way to track all of your giving. Along with giving right now, we also have pledge or capital giving campaigns. So that's just the giving suite. So it's pretty unbelievable what we get, and it's free. Um, Along with giving, we have contact management, which, is a CHMS. It may sound a little bit boring, but man, when it gets out of place, it's no fun. And from that, you can organize all of your contacts, add custom fields, create custom forms, have custom events, volunteer management, everything you expect in a typical CHMS. And what we're doing right now is we're taking one of our most used, highest rated applications, church apps. Now, it's a little bit different than the giving app. The giving app is, someone wants to give through an app. This is your church app. This is branded for you. This has the prayer wall. This has group chat. This makes it incredibly easy to connect with your church during the week. Now, there's a lot of people your apps are a fad, and I know you. It's kind of it's something that's said in ignorance with no data. And I'm sitting here, man, we help thousands of churches with our church app. The engagement is through the roofs. It's huge, right? People in their app, and it's not just giving them an app, it's giving the ability to have their data within the app. So it's easier registrations, it's prayer walls, it's group chat, it's these ways to connect with each other. It's powerful. And so we really take those three, and we want all three of those. And Tidely 3.0 takes all of those and makes it a seamless, coherent environment. So that's huge. And then we have some other apps that are really supporting. Like we have church websites, which we really believe are for visitors. We have media. I believe we have church visuals in that. So there's in church visuals. So if you're a Tidely customer, you can actually use some of that. We love that. Our thought on media is, man, be uh you know first off, as a church, don't use clip art. Don't use clip art.
Yeah.
Use high class media. Look first class, and make sure you're posting on social media. So we provide some of those. We have stuff for sermon series, and so we want to try to equip churches there. I'm going to tell you, Carl, since it's just you and me. That's an area we want to get better at. That's an area we want to grow in. And then a few of the other software, we have a software called messaging where you can send out SMS and emails, and drip campaigns. And there's a few other ones, but really excited about those main pieces of software just coming together and being seamless.
Good. You mentioned the media piece. Yeah, when you guys were first kind of launching that, Tidely, the team reached out to us and said, "Okay, we would like to build a library," and so you had us create all those media pieces. Then not all of them. There were a few that you guys had previously, but we created a lot of the pieces that are in your library. So that was a great partnership between the two of us that they can get high quality stuff. So this isn't clip art. This is
Right.
high quality stuff from professional designers, professional video and motion designers that are in the Tively library. So really excited about that. So speaking of that, what is your take on visual media? And I was talking with Dean Sweetman about this earlier today about maybe the visual aesthetics of your apps. how those are so important, that it does need functionality. Everything needs to work, but it also needs to look good, look pretty, be aesthetically pleasing, things like that. So how do things like that work into what you do? How do your visuals matter in what you guys are doing?
So there's things that Tidely can do. And we want to provide you with resources, and then there's kind of best practices. So I'm not gonna. This isn't something Tidely does. This is more around best practices. I think when it comes to visuals, there was a time where in the church space it was very hard to get good looking graphics, right? So it's like, man, and I think we were part of that. Like that
Right.
first wave of, oh my goodness, I can get a PSD, I can get a JPEG, and it looks awesome. I can post it.
Right.
And then people said, what, man, I want it to be personalized. So then I want to be able to put my church logo on it. And I think we're in this third wave where you need to have a coherent brand. um, if you saw something from Coca-Cola, it wouldn't have to have Coca-Cola on it. You could see the red, right? You could see maybe the polar bear at Christmas. You'd be like, that's Coca-Cola, right? Without it ever saying the words.
Right.
And so I think for our best practices for churches is, yes, there's access to a lot of different things, but I'd really try to nail down your specific branding and then try to use assets that help drive that home. Again, you're a light and salt in your community, and we want to use every advantage we can. And again, if someone's maybe seen a billboard or a flyer and everyone has different colors and different messages, and your logo's down to the bottom corner, I'd say really try to pick your brand colors. Try to pick your theme. Like, what is the feel of your church? And again, if this is something that's maybe outside your bounds, I know they could get with you, Carl, and kind
Yeah.
of talk about this and say, man, we don't want to go from heavy grunge to, upscale church. Like, help us figure this thing out.
Yeah.
And so, from a best practice perspective, I'd really recommend try to spend it won't take long, but try to take a little bit of time and really define the visuals for your church, so you can have a coherent brand. Now, I don't want to pretend that your brand is just visuals. I know it's a lot more than that. Your brand is really what people talk about you
Right.
in the community. But some of the things that inform that are just some of the visuals behind it. And so I just say take a little bit of time, try to nail that down and be as consistent as possible across all of your media, whether it's social, whether that's going into the app. What it's going to do is just allow someone just to, right, they're not going to be relearning.
Right.
They're not going to have to use that cognitive energy to say, man, I got to refigure this out. And so that'd be kind of my thoughts. And we are stepping into the world of AI.
Hmm.
So I will say this, um, perfection is going to feel more and more like AI.
What do
So
you
it's
mean by that?
what I mean by that is things are too good. Things are too polished. Things don't
Right.
feel authentic. And so don't feel afraid to be a little bit unpolished.
Yeah.
Don't feel a little bit to, not have everything perfect. And what I mean by this, and this is this video for us. We didn't take, an hour in the green room. You're like, damn, this is it. This is just me and you sitting here being very authentic.
Mhm.
And I would say, try to do that same with the visuals. But some of that is posting more of the pastor. I know there's a lot of pastors really struggle just being in front of a camera. Or I tell you what, some of the best videos I've seen is a pastor holding up a camera, staring at, putting a big smile, and I've
Right.
seen tremendous results. So I would
Yeah.
just say, man, make sure you're a part of that. That the pastor's actually a part of that.
Yeah.
Those visuals.
I think you're bringing up a great point when it comes to AI, in that it's almost, you don't want to make things too perfect. Now, there are some problems with AI, especially with the imagery and video. It's not quite there yet. It's getting there. But there could be, like, that looks too amazing. And I think there's still a need for designers with not just a soul, but um, a heart for Jesus, that is wanting to communicate a message that the robot AI
Mm,
doesn't know about,
yeah,
right? So you're not gonna, you might can come up with an image that might get close, but, like, you don't know the theology behind that.
yeah,
Maybe it can be taught, but maybe it can't. So I don't think it's gonna take designers and video people that love Jesus out of the
yeah.
mix. Do you?
No, I don't think AI tells stories. I think people tell stories. I really do believe this. I know we had a session, and so I'm not just taking, but there's some great books called like Story Wars.
Yeah.
So this has been around for a long time, these thoughts. And I think all creatives are just, it's a storytelling medium.
Yeah.
And so I think what's going to happen, and you've heard this, it's not AI that's going to take our jobs. It's someone using AI So, I
Right.
definitely wouldn't say be afraid of it. I say utilize it,
Correct.
maximize it, and tell great stories with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Really appreciate all the work that you guys do at Tithely, and tell folks how they can learn more about what
Yeah.
you guys do.
Just go to tithely.com. Again, we have free giving. You can sign up today. We try to just again, if you got to sit down with a Tithely team, we're a bunch of people who love the local church. We know Jesus Christ bled and died for it. And our goal is to help you and maximize the impact of your church in your local community.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks.
This has been a podcast presentation of Church Visuals. Executive produced by Carl Barnhill. Edited by Mario Franco. Title and show graphics by Angie Lomas. For more resources to help you visually communicate the gospel, visit churchvisuals.com.